I couldn't get any whisper lists configured.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to iRacing's Drivers World Championship, race number 17 here at Phillip Island. Lots of stories to cover before we get to the race. Number one, off the top, no Richard Towler, no Derek Woods, still serving a suspension from a race a couple of weeks ago at Indianapolis Road Course. Also, no Gregor Huttu. He is vacationing on some distant planet and will not make the race. So we are open for a brand new winner in the Drivers World Championship here today. I've got some great guests in the booth with me today. Chuck Johnson and also Ryan Murray, a current Drivers World Championship driver for Team Podium Assault. We'll welcome those guys into the booth.
Thank you, Frosty. Appreciate it.
Hey there, Frosty and Ryan and everybody. Going to have some fun tonight, I would imagine.
Absolutely. We've still got a couple of battles or positions open for grabs as far as the overall championship. Obviously, Gregor Huttu has wrapped up the overall championship. He did that a couple of races ago at Indianapolis. Richard Towler currently holding down the second spot, but with his two-race suspension. If he doesn't make the last race or has trouble, that leaves the door open for Ilkka Happila to potentially grab second overall. Ilkka is currently sitting in third and has a decent cushion between himself and Sean Purdy, but with no drops left for Ilkka, anything could still happen, and Sean could still take over that third spot. So we got a 50-lap race here today, probably a two-stop race. There is a chance with a pit stop window of about 23 laps that you could see somebody try to stretch it and make it a one-stopper. Could be interesting. Ryan, I know you probably practiced a bit for this race. Tell us a little bit about the track.
In this car, it's very, very fun. It's one of those courses that has the straightaway, the long sweeper in the first corner, and then you have the sweeper in second corner too, going down to the hairpin, and there's actually the other hairpin coming out of turn, I believe it's turn 9, I'm not sure. And it's just, this track and this car really, really suit each other very well because it promotes close racing. You have a lot of corners that have camber in them to hold the cars there, much like last week at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a good race.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers have been describing this road course as much like an oval. The lap times are very similar. It's going to be hard to pull away from people, and passing is going to be difficult here as well. Not a whole lot of passing zones. Let's go ahead and run down the starting order. I'll take us through the first 5. Ryan, if you want to go from there, take us through the next 5, and we'll just alternate back and forth. On pole, Ilkka Happila, his first pole of the season. Good job by him, a 114.5. Sean Purdy, his teammate, in the second spot, 114.7, just a couple of tenths off. Darren Marsh in the third spot. His is his home track race, so Darren driving right side up for once. Florian Goddard in the fourth spot, and followed by Martin Macchion in the fifth spot.
In sixth, we have Daniel Almeida. If you'll have to excuse me if I butcher some names, I'm pretty new at this. In seventh place, we have Brad Davies, qualifying with a 114.93. Eighth place is my teammate Ian Lake, racing for Podium Assault. And ninth place is Yaroslav Honzik, who probably has a mispronounced name there too. And in 10th place is Brian Heitkotter.
In the 11th spot, Matt Sintel, followed by Dion Bergers. Klaus Illenbrand in the 13th spot, David Serwa in 14th. And 15th spot, Andrea Baldi.
And Mauro Bisegli. And then in 17th, we have Matteo Calistani. 18th is Jan Zalakis. 19th is Alice Simunek. And 20th is Ray Alfala.
The 21st spot is Milos Milokovic, followed by Ario Leonetti in the 22nd spot. Gord Harferer in the 23rd spot. Tim Holgate in 24th. George Sandman in the 25th spot.
And once again, not qualifying and starting from the back is Ben Cornett in 26th. And then 27th is Richard Crozier. At 28th is actually a surprise entrant Jesse Atchison, who's a DWC Oval driver. 29th is David Hoffman. And then 30th is John Adams.
Drivers now rolling off. Interesting to note, Florian Goddard in the 4th spot on the grid, currently in a very close battle with Tim Holgate, who is starting 24th for that 30th overall spot. The top 30 from the DWC automatically go back to the DWC next season, so that is a definite important position there. And I'm sure you've spoken to Tim, as he is one of your teammates, Ryan, on that position. It looks like Florian has really stepped it up for this race. This is his highest qualifying position of the season.
Definitely. We were watching qualifying, and it's a lot of the spectators were mentioning that Florian is really amping it up this weekend because he knows what the stakes are, and Tim, he's been a little sick lately and battling some personal issues that prevented him from practicing quite a bit, but he's fully committed to making the top 30, and he's going to try his hardest to get up there. He's got quite a few cars to hop, though.
Another interesting battle on the track. Ben Cornett currently in the 5th spot, starting from the back. He has no drops left as well. Darren Marsh, who has made, I believe, all 16 starts, he still probably has some drops. He is sitting in 6th, not too far behind. And I believe this is Darren's best qualifying effort of the season as well, on his home track in the 3rd spot. So another thing to keep your eye on there. No money as far as paying out. It's not a paying position as far as money goes, but still top 5 in the DWC would be very prestigious. So keep an eye on that battle as well, and we will try to keep you up to date on Ben's charge up through the field. Ben, always interesting, always fun to watch. Sometimes it ends in glory, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Drivers just kind of making their pace around the track now, being followed by being led by the pace car. Again, a very tight lap time type of track. It's going to be hard for people to pull away from others. It's going to be interesting here to see what happens as they come around to the starting line.
Pace car's off there, Frosty. We're getting ready to go.
We are watching Ilka Happala and his teammate Sean Purdy. Ilka getting a good jump coming onto the front straightaway, and he will lead him down. Sean Purdy tucks it right behind Darren Marsh in the 3rd spot. Looks like Florian Goddard in 4th. Or did he get? Actually, he might have gotten passed by Martin Macion there, I believe.
Yeah, Martin definitely passed him coming down the straightaway. Florian right behind him, and Brad Davies right behind him.
Looks like a pretty clean start. Last couple of races we've had pretty relatively clean starts, so good start for the pack so far. Didn't see any major pilot. Maybe might be missing something. No, I think it's a pretty clean start.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything at all. I was flipping through the field really quick, but everybody was showing their class in the race there. Came out pretty clean.
Ilka Happala out in front, looking to become the first winner of this series besides Richard
Tim
Tyler
Holgate
and
in a wreck.
Gregor Huttu.
Ben Cornett and Tim Holgate.
Looks like we might have a replay coming up here of an incident that we had on the first lap. Oh yeah, looks like possibly was that Tim Holgate?
Tim Holgate and Ben Cornett.
So Ben again providing some spark there on the first lap of the race, as he normally does. Meanwhile, out in front, Ilka Happala leading around Sean Purdy. These guys are nose to tail. Again, it's going to be difficult. A lot of these guys have been maybe not complaining, but making mention that it's going to be very difficult to pull away from other drivers here as the lap times are so close. Ilka Happala very closely followed by Sean Purdy. Sean wants to put as much pressure on Ilka as he can, because anything happens to Ilka and Sean could be in for that 3rd place overall in the championship. That would be a $1,000 payout prize for 3rd place. So Sean going to keep the pressure on his teammate. Darren Marsh doing a great job hanging right there with him in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, he got around Martin Macion very early on the first lap. Traded places really quickly.
And it looks like Florian has also made his way past Martin. Martin has slipped down the field quite a bit. So figure out where he is actually. No, he's just slid back behind Florian. My apologies. So Martin right now running in the 5th spot. Daniel Almeida in 6th.
Closely followed by Brad Davies, keeping right on his rear wing. They got a pretty tight-knit group of cars behind them. Ian Lake, Matt Sentel, and Dion Burkers. They're all battling because they're all really like both Matt, Brian. They're fighting for the top 10 in the points. You know, that's a very prestigious title to have as well.
Absolutely. Dion Vergers right now currently in the 4th spot overall. Didn't have the best qualifying position. He is sitting in the 12th spot. See if he is able to make his way into his normal top 10 type finishing position. Meanwhile, Hapola still out in front, not able to leave the field. This could be the most exciting race of the season without Gregor in it. Gregor normally just kind of takes off and runs away with these races, and right now we're seeing all 4 or 5 of these cars up in front still running in a pretty tight pack.
Yeah, the first 4 cars are within a second and a half of each other. Any mistake by either one of those cars could lead to quite a little bit of hectic driving for the guys directly behind them.
Checking the lap times, 1st through 7th place all ran 1:16 ones or 1:16 flats that last lap by. That just goes to show you that this track definitely lends itself to close lap times, and we could be in for a long, close battle with a lot of close battles on the track for a long race for some of these guys. I'm sure Ilka was hoping for a boring type race as he is trying to secure that 3rd spot overall, but that's not going to be the case here at Phillip Island, I believe.
I would have to agree with you on that one, Frosty, because Sean is just waiting for him to make a mistake and pounce on it, and you have Darren right behind him as well. So, kind of a awesome race we've got going. Too bad you have the worst announcer so far, myself.
Cut yourself some slack. I'm sure we've had worse.
Yeah.
Dion Vergers trying to make his way up through the field. He is working hard on Matt Sentel. You guys are watching this for the first time. This is iRacing. It's a simulation software, much like you would play or use a flight simulator type software. These guys are racing from all over the world, from places like Finland to Germany, you know,
Australia,
really far apart. Vergers continuing to work on Matt Sentel right in front of him, and he has got, I think that's Ian Lake right in front of them. Could be wrong.
Yes, that's Ian Lake. And then directly in front of him is pro driver Yaroslav Hanzik, trying to make his name known in the last few weeks of the DWC season.
It definitely has a name to remember, that is for sure. Getting back to what I was saying, this is iRacing's simulation software. These guys are racing from all over the world using a wheel and pedal set on their home PC. It's an extremely cheap way to go racing. You get to race guys in the simulation such as Dale Earnhardt Jr. These are the best in the world on the road course side. These guys have all qualified their way up through the pack, through various series, and this is the flagship series for iRacing. So if you guys want to give this a shot, go over to iRacing.com and check it out. It's definitely a fun way to get into racing and do it cheaply.
Frosty, I just want to let you know that Yaroslav, as soon as we mentioned him, he put the move on Brad Davies for what I believe is 7th place, excuse me. Oh no, looks like Ian Lake is off the track there, Frosty.
Yeah, we might have given the announcer's curse there, mentioning him. He is off the track into the wall. Bad luck there for Ian.
Yeah, he just caught the grass a little bit, and he just shot him off straight. And these cars are going at such a high speed going into that corner. There's no chance to get it stopped before the tires stopped them.
The tires definitely will help you stop, that is for sure.
Yes,
yeah,
that is
Ian
the tire
into the wall
model that we
hard
don't
there
want
as
to
we're
get
watching
caught.
on the replay. Shame, he's been strong as of late, so that's a rough break for Ian. And
yeah, a lot of
I was just going to say that will hurt his lap time.
yeah. Still have Purdy hunting down Hapala.
Yeah, these guys starting to stretch it out just a little bit over third place Darren Marsh. Darren probably not used to driving right side up, so that's probably not helping.
Left is right and right is left.
Florian continuing to do a good job there in the 4th spot, trying to put pressure on Tim Holgate to lock up that 30th overall position, or maybe even possibly 29th. I believe if I looked the last time, Dave Hoffman, who currently sits in 29th, I do not believe he is in the field today. So both of these guys could potentially catch Dave and push Dave out of the top 30. So that's another thing to watch.
Yeah, that's right now Florian just has to tell himself as a driver that if he's aware that Tim Holgate is wrecked and is not really putting down competitive lap times, he just calmly do the race, hit your marks lap after lap, and he could really leapfrog him in the points and get a little bit of a padding going into the final week next week. And what should be noted about next week is that there's only 28 pit stalls at Mid-Ohio, so it's going to be a real tight qualifying session.
Yeah. Next race, 2 weeks from now, will be the final race of the season for the Drivers' World Championship. Again, Gregor Huttu has already locked up the title and the $10,000 cash. Richard Towler has a good shot to wrap up the 2nd spot unless he has trouble in the last race, or it's also been rumored that he may have to miss the last event. If that does happen, Ilkka Happila could be sitting in a good spot to take over that 2nd spot overall in the championship, and that would be a $3,000 payout. So anything can still happen as far as 2nd through on down in the series.
Yeah, right now it looks like the tightest battle, aside from 1st and 2nd, is the Jaroslav Hanzik, Brad Davies, and Dion Vergers is directly behind them. All 3 of those guys are really close.
Yeah, Dion already made his way up into the top 10, currently sitting in 9th. Right now you're watching the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th, as Brad is going to work on Jaroslav. Brad also in a battle for the championship overall in the Oval Series. You guys need to check that out. I believe that's happening this Tuesday night, the last race of the season for those guys. $10,000 up for grabs between Brad Davies and Richard Towler. Richard Towler probably had a $10,000 pass on Brad in the last race as they went down to the wire, and right before a late yellow flag came out, Richard just put the hammer down and went around the outside of Brad. It was an amazing pass, so definitely make sure to check in and see who can bring home that money.
Yeah, Ray Alfaro looks like he just got around Andrea Baldi for, what position would that be? 15th and 13th. Well, excuse me. He gained quite a bit that lap. Now he's still reading in 15th.
Oh, looks like Ellenbrand off the track. He's currently running in the 12th, or he was running in 12th spot. See if we can get a replay of that here coming up on your screen. Klaus looked like he was chasing down a podium assault driver and just lost it coming out of one of the corners. Looks like he did catch a bit of the wall. Alfala's going to go by. Looks like Mateo might have gone by there. So he loses about 3 spots. Not sure how much he might have damaged the car. So tough break there for Klaus.
Yeah, he fell all the way down to 16th position.
Meanwhile, Appola, that's just going to combine both of his names and make him one thing like Madonna. Appola, Ilkka Happila out in front, Sean Purdy right behind him. Team Orion 1 and 2. These guys starting to pull away from Darren Marsh in the 3rd spot. Darren kind of on an island by himself. Florian Goddard in 4th, with Martin McYon right behind him in 5th.
Daniel Almeida directly behind Martin, putting on the pressure.
Yeah, Daniel looking for a good finish this season. I think right now this might be his highest finishing position. So Almeida looking for a good finishing. He's had a lot of bad luck. He's had a lot of good finishes with damaged cars. So Daniel definitely looking to put it together here for potentially a top 5 finish, which would be great for Daniel. He's a very nice guy on and off the track, and he's well deserved. So hopefully he can pull it off. Oh, yeah, Daniel. Problem there for Florian.
Yeah, I couldn't catch it what exactly happened, but Daniel just shot right past him.
Like Florian might have lost a little momentum there, and he had to kind of defend. And looks like he's lost a couple of spots there.
Yeah, that little bobble by Florian has allowed Brad Davies, Jaroslav Hanzik, and Dion Vergers to close the gap on him coming out of the going up to the hairpin.
A couple of laps ago, Ilkka Happila ran his fastest lap of the race so far at 1:15.7. Sean Purdy's fastest lap of the race at 1:15.6, however. So Sean, even though he lost a little bit of ground there in the last couple of laps, has the fastest lap of the race.
Looks like Dion is really pressuring Jaroslav going into turn 2.
Yeah, watching on the screen right now, battle. Ooh, a lot of cars there. Dion really all over the back door of Jaroslav, trying to get past. Dion, well known for his top 10 finishes in the series, part of the reason he is 4th overall in the championship, and he is putting a lot of pressure on Hanzik right now.
Hanzik went a little wider there, allowing him to gain some time. Now they're coming up on the section of the track that's crucial to make sure you are not braking late, because if you get into the back of somebody here, it'll end both your race, his race, and possibly the car in front of you because of all that grass.
Good job through there. Dion has definitely been on a charge as of late. A couple top 5 finishes for himself. Looking to try to move back up through the field after probably a slightly disappointing qualifying effort. He is right on the back door of Hanzik now, looking to the inside. Oh, who is that off the track? Darren Marsh off the track.
Ooh, 3rd place.
Taking
He's falling way back down the field.
Yeah, going to take a look at a replay. Darren coming down the front straight. Looked like he had made up some time on Sean Purdy. Oh, and just too hot into turn 2 and just straight off into the beach. So, don't think he clipped the wall. Car's probably okay, but he did lose a position or 2.
Oh, Darren has fallen all the way back down. He will be listed in position 10th when we cross the start-finish line next time.
He is not going to be a happy Australian. He was running good there, looking for his best finish of the season, possible podium position for Darren Marsh, and now all the way back down into 10th. That's going to move Martin McYon up into the 3rd spot. Working lap 14. Right now your running order, Ilkka Happila out in front, Sean Purdy running in the 2nd spot, Martin McYon in the 3rd spot, Daniel Almeida in 4th, Florian Goddard in 5th, Brad Davies in the 6th spot, Jaroslav Hanzik in 7th, Dion Vergers in 8th now, Matt Santel in 9th, Darren Marsh all the way back to 10th. Tough break for Darren.
Yeah, it looks like Darren Marsh's little off has really amped up the intensity between Daniel Almeida and Martin McYon. Battle for 3rd is getting pretty intense.
Yeah, huge train here.
Oh, Davies really getting side by side with Hanzik.
Oh,
Who was that?
Martin McGon off the track from P3. That's going to promote Daniel Almeida all the way up into third. So Daniel 6 just a few laps ago, all the way up into the third spot now. Yeah, Chuck Johnson with a good coining a good phrase there. P3, not the place to be.
It looks like Martin just lost it coming out of the corner.
Yeah, he's going to fall all the way back to 15th, I believe.
A little bit of rear wing damage from what I'm understanding. Definitely going to affect his top speed going down the straightaway.
It will also affect his rear wing.
Last round we had
Yep. When the wing is like that, it's not normal. That is not how it comes from the factory.
Nope.
Meanwhile, all this happening, Ryan, Ilka Happala, Sean Purdy now built a 10-second lead over the third spot, Daniel Almeida. Florian Goddard in fourth. Jaroslav Hanzik in the fifth spot. Brad Davies now in sixth. Dion Vergers up to seventh, continuing his string of top tens. Matt Sintel, who you said was a little bit under the weather, I believe. You said you weren't even sure if he's going to race, running in the eighth spot.
That was Tim Holgate, who had such bad luck earlier in the race.
Oh, okay, my apologies. Darren Marsh in the ninth spot, and Brian Heitkotter now up into the 10th spot.
Along with Matteo Calistani in 11th, and then directly behind Matteo is Ray Alfala, who is definitely pressuring Matteo.
Right now, taking a look at the leader, Ilka Happala out in front. He has put a little bit of gap in between him and his teammate Sean Purdy. Now jumping back, taking a look at the Simboot car. I believe that is Florian Goddard, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, Daniel Almeida.
Looking around the field, we were talking about Richard Crozier earlier, and he's all the way up to spot 19th. P19 from, what did he start in? 30th, I believe? 29th? Looking to gain maximum points. But right now, I definitely think the story is P3 all the way down to P7, P8, because they're, like, after all the spins, they're 11, 12 seconds back, but they're all grouped together, very, very close to each other.
Just getting a private message here from Ben Cornett here, Ryan, and it said Tim Holgate had bad luck, question mark. The nice guy moron drove straight into me. I kind of cleaned that up a bit.
Yeah, those two have definitely got a history both on and off the track. Now we'll leave it at that. I like both guys, you know. Sometimes in racing you just have rivalries that stem out of incidents on the track, and this is one of them.
Just real quick, recap top five again. Ilka Happala out in front. He leads 1.7 seconds over teammate Sean Purdy. Daniel Almeida in the third spot. Florian Goddard in fourth. Jaroslav Hanzik in the fifth spot, looking for a top five. Oh, and we have, looks
Florian
like...
going in the pits.
Yeah. Might be stopping for a baguette or something.
Florian stopped. Definitely could be trying different pit strategy. It looks like someone else is in. Alfala's in as well. And we're getting word.
Yeah, these guys definitely not going to try for. Sorry, I was going to say these guys definitely not going to try for the one-stop strategy. So we should probably start seeing more and more pit stops happening.
One thing that we noticed during testing for the week is that these corners promote a lot of tire wear, and sometimes if you have a bad lap, you lock up the tire just a little bit. It's 5 to 7% wear on just a single lap. So these guys might be going in early because there's been a lot of incidents and they're getting their tire wear up.
And they could possibly just need a rest.
Yes.
Now top 2 leaders still have not pitted yet. Checking us.
Darren Marsh into the pits.
Alright, we are taking a look on the screen right now of the standings without the drops. So keep in mind that all these guys get 2 drops over the course of the season if for a reason they cannot make a race, or if somebody has some personal issues with some other people on the track, that they are able to drop a race. So since these guys are not quite getting paid yet to be at all these races by sponsors, although it seems like it is headed that way, life does get in the way. So they are able to drop 2 races. What you're looking at now is the standings without the drops. So keep in mind a few positions here or there may be slightly different.
Battle between Brad Daves and Dion and Yaroslav is still pretty hot, man. They're going good. Very nice, clean racing. Brad has lost a little bit of ground to Yaroslav, but he's right behind him. He's got Dion pressuring him.
They are going well. Things taste good.
They're definitely settling into a groove, trying to gain as many points as possible.
Right now, Hapla is still leading, has not pitted yet. Could he possibly be going for the one-stop strategy? Lap 20 right now for Hapla. Looks like Huttu had some problems coming out of the pits. Since he's your teammate, you want to comment on that, Ryan?
Looks like he just might have got a few tires on the grass and shot off through the sand. Definitely cost him some time, but he's looks like the new tires are pressuring. Oh. Yeah, my
sorry, that was
mistake.
Gord Hopper off the track, so Ryan cannot comment whether or not that was part of his strategy.
We'll just pretend that was happened.
It was an interesting strategy there, Cotton.
Almeida's diving into the pits now.
Ilka into the pits. He had typed in P on the previous lap. I wasn't sure if that meant that he had to use the restroom or that he was going to pit, but obviously it meant that he was pitting.
An astute observation there, Frosty.
So now Sean Purdy out in the lead. See if he is going to try the one-stop strategy. If so, he's got another 4 laps to do it. See if he can make the fuel last. If so, he could be looking for another or his first win of the season. Again, so far nobody has won these races but Richard Towler and Gregor Huttu, and neither are in this race. So chances that they will win here are not very good. On board with Sean Purdy, and he is into the pits, so Sean is not going to try the one-stopper.
Now we'll have to watch to see if his pit stop's quicker than Ilka's, and if he comes out ahead or behind him. Those two are very close on the track before the pits.
Yorslov also into the pits from P2. Brad Davies right behind him, followed by Dion Verger, so it doesn't look like anybody. Heitkotter also into the pits. Baldi is going to lead a lap here, so Andrea Baldi still going around, and he has taken over the lead. Top P1 spot for Andrea Baldi.
Nope, Ilka came out ahead of Sean out of the pits. Actually gained some time, it looks like.
Car number 22, Andrea Baldi, leading the way. Could he possibly be on the one-stop strategy? Ilka Happala just behind him on track in the second spot now.
I have David Serwa actually listed in second place.
Actually, you are correct. David Serwa
both of these guys, yeah, it's the first lap Andrea's led all year. Congratulations to him.
Lap 22 of 50. Right now, out in front, Andrea Baldi, followed by David Serrois. Could either one of these guys? No, Andrea into the pits. Let's see if Serrois follows, and he does. So very late stops for these guys. They could be looking for a one long run, followed by a short run, followed by a long run.
And that gives, I believe, Martin Macchione the lead.
Yeah, Macchione now out in front. Could he be on the one stopper?
Oh, he's got Ilka directly behind him. Or no, Ilka has gotten around him, coming out of turn 2 and 3.
Okay, so with both of these guys still having at least one more stop, you would definitely think Ilka has the upper hand. He's going to be lighter on fuel, quicker lap times. Darren Marsh off the track again. Bad luck at his home race for Darren Marsh.
Yes, definitely.
So looks like we're taking a replay of the Hofferer-Marsh battle. Yeah, Darren Marsh just off track as Hofferer was a lap down. Darren again into the beach, not having a good day after a great qualifying effort.
Crozier in the pits.
Yeah, he was all the way up in the third spot there, Ryan. So a good run for Crozier all the way back from the back of the pack after missing qualifying.
Yeah, I saw that he missed it by 30 seconds. He wasn't too pleased about that because, like you said earlier, he's in the fight for that 30th spot. He wants a guaranteed position on next year's grid.
You know, sometimes as man, 30 seconds is all you need, Ryan.
Yeah, don't tell my girlfriend that.
Out in front, Ilkka Happila looking for possibly his first win ever in the Drivers' World Championship. He has a 2.5 second lead over the second place car, which is his teammate Sean Purdy. Both of these guys battling it out for the third overall position and potentially second and third in the Drivers' World Championship if Towler misses or has trouble in the last race. Almeida in the third spot, Davies in fourth, Vergers up into the fifth spot.
Dion, he's just been steady all year. That's what he does best. You never hear of him like he's not in the hunt for the win, but he's just doing an amazing job.
Alright, so Happila working this, after he finishes this lap, we will be halfway through or halfway started, depending on how you want to look at it. Vergers all over the back door. Brad Davies, by the way, battle for fourth. We can take a possible look at that, maybe.
These two, they've been going at it all race long. Yaroslav's actually lost a little bit of ground to them, but these two, they've remained close throughout the pit stops.
These guys do not like each other whatsoever. Actually, it's probably not true. It just makes for more excitement. But Dion all over the back door of Brad Davies. See if he can get around. Dion looking for a another top five here. He has been on a tear here as of late. I know he's differed a little bit from his setups from the rest of the team, and it has obviously helped him in the past few races as the results have shown, and he is trying to draft off Davies coming down the front straight.
Yeah, they come to turn one, very high-speed corner. Little bobble here, and somebody's right up somebody else's rear wing.
Taking a look now, I believe at Florian Goddard, or we were. Now we're looking at Looks like Matt Santel and Brian Heitcotter, followed by Ray Alfala.
And then there's Darren Marsh.
Yeah, Darren trying to make his way back up through the field after a couple of offs.
Oh, Heitcotter inside of Santel. And then there's Alfala and Santel connected.
Yeah, good save there by Ray. Almost went around. He's going to spread these guys back out a little bit, but Darren is going to close in on Team Florida himself, Ray Alfala.
Who I will be meeting next weekend, New York City.
That's right, for the GP Masters final, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that's. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be something cool. This hobby is definitely, it's very unique where they gave us a series that allowed us to race in New York City, and there's going to be 10 of us there. Jake the Steak, who's not here this weekend. George Sandman, my teammate, he'll be flying out all the way from California. John Prather. They'll all be there. Ray Alfala, Brad Davies. He might be there next weekend as the Oval champion, which would be very cool.
Not to cut you off here, Ryan, but it looks like Santel having some kind of problems. He is basically losing positions handily. He's lost 3 just in the past few corners, and something has definitely gone wrong with that race car, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like on my replay, it looked like Alfala got inside of him and they made contact, so he might have bent his rear suspension and just messed up the handling. And then now, yeah, getting it passed again by Mateo.
Yeah, not even putting up a fight there.
Yeah, something's definitely wrong with his car. It's a shame because he was having such a great run.
Yeah, Matt was looking for a top 10. Now he's going to try to hang on for possibly a top 15 or top 20.
Yeah, Darren Marsh all over the rear wing of Ray Alfala. It'll be interesting to see if Ray took on some damage from that contact with Santel as well.
On board with Darren Marsh all over Team Florida himself, Ray Alfala. He looks to the inside and just says hi. Or probably hello, mate.
And what's interesting for the viewers out there is that Darren Marsh is racing from Australia while Ray Alfala is racing from Florida, and these two are just inches apart going through these high-speed corners. Just a testament to how
extremely interesting.
Yeah, how accurate the iRacing software is and how it promotes such close racing.
That is actually true, though, no joke, that iRacing does a great job of being able to take guys from all over the world, from California to Arizona, and put them on a server and be able to race close. It's an amazing job that they do, and it's really cool. You get to meet people from all over the world, ask them about what kind of food they eat, and just different stuff. It's really cool. All right, Ryan, it's going to be interesting to get your opinion on what you think. Most of these guys, like Hapala, Purdy, a lot of the guys that are running up front, did a very long first stint. Obviously, they can't quite make it on fuel for the second stint. When do you expect to see them in for their second stop?
My opinion is I'm the double stint guy that goes as long as possible because I just don't want to get clogged up behind potential lapped cars. I want to know exactly where I'm at on the track. And when I dive into the pits for that, usually the last pit stop is real quick. Like I'll go in there for just a splash of gas. Don't even worry about tires.
Marsh is all over the back door of Alfala as you're watching on your screen from the onboard.
It looks like
Trying to
got a
get
little
past.
wiggle
He
there.
has had great pace here at this track. A few offs has put him down further than what he would like to be, obviously.
It looks like Ray's got some damage because Darren is just catching him on the straight like crazy.
Darren going to go by on the outside. Special staggered tires, and they did hold.
Yes. Directly behind those two, it's Andrea Baldi having a very good race this week. And
Just give you guys a quick. Sorry about that.
Go
Just
ahead.
give you guys a quick update out in front. Ilka Happala still your leader. He is now almost 3 seconds up on teammate Sean Purdy in the second spot. Daniel Almeida, as you mentioned, in the third spot, having an amazing run here for himself. Awesome driver, had some really bad luck all season. It's great to see him having a good run here at Phillip Island. Brad Davies running in the fourth spot, showing he can also turn right as well. Dion Vergers up into the fifth spot. Jaroslav Hanzik in the sixth spot. Florian Goddard in seventh again, trying to make sure that he gets himself up into that top 30 after a great qualifying effort. Brian Heitkotter in the eighth spot. Ray Alfala in ninth. And Darren Marsh in, well, actually, I think Darren is now past Ray. So Darren in ninth, Ray Alfala in the 10th spot.
It'll be interesting to see what happened to Darren earlier, because he's had so many offs this race that, like you were saying earlier, he was in third position, and then next thing you know, he fell all the way down to 12th, and now he's back all the way up to 10th, or 9th actually, which I would consider a success in and of itself.
Yeah, Darren at his home track here in Australia, actually being able to drive correct side up for once.
Purdy actually gained 2/10 on Ilka that last lap. Ilka's last lap was a 1:15.887, and then Purdy charging up with a 1:15.632.
Yeah, still a 3 second gap in between Happala and Purdy. Oh, Happala, a little loose. Interesting to note as well, if you guys want to write into PSR TV, Ilka out in front, currently had a baby a couple of weeks ago. I do not believe the baby has been named yet. So maybe he could be named Phillip Island if he brings this race home, which would be a strange name, but Phillip Island Happala might have a nice ring to it.
I would think that that would be a sensational name for a little chap. Definitely know the racing heritage with him. Sean is continuing to chip off a little bit of time each lap, though. I mean, he's not taking a lot, but every lap matters, and he's gaining around 2/10 the last few laps.
Yeah, good point there. Lead down to 2.87 seconds now. They have a 16-second gap, however, back to Almeida. Brad Davies all over the back door of Almeida for the third spot, and even closer is Dion Vergers to Brad Davies. A great battle there for fourth and fifth. So Dion not looking for just the top five. He is definitely looking to get past these two guys in front of him. Potentially a Team Orion 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely focusing on the battle between Almeida, Davies, and Vergers. They're keeping it close. We're definitely on board with Dion Vergers right now as he charges up on Brad Davies coming out of the next to last corner down to the main straightaway. We'll see if he can draft him down into turn one.
And the good thing about turn one for Dion is that it is a right-hander, probably not Davies' strong suit.
Definitely confusing for the oval drivers, but they seem to handle it pretty well today. Although it must have confused Atchison and John Adams because they've already pulled off and the race is over for those two.
Probably weren't enough yellows. They were expecting probably more yellows.
Like Brad had gotten a little wide through there.
All right, 34 laps down in a 50-lap race. Happel is still out in front, 2.87 or 2.8 seconds ahead of his teammate Sean Purdy. Almeida still running in the third spot. Davies in fourth. Dion in fifth. Taking a look on the screen right now. Okay, Happel followed by Sean Purdy. Taking a look at Sean, trying to chase down his teammate.
Gained another 0.2 of a second that lap.
He did. About 15 laps left to go. Ryan, I was talking last race about the concentration that it takes from these guys. I think a lot of people probably don't realize, especially if they're watching for the first time, not quite sure what this is, the amount of concentration that it takes to do one of these races with the best drivers in the world. As a driver that has been in several of these races, maybe you could talk a little bit about that and how draining it can actually be.
Yeah, one thing that you get into a groove with these races that you don't actually think about. Like I always think about the competition, who's around me. If Darren's close to me, I try not to get super close because of that ping factor. But when you're coming to tracks, especially like Phillip Island, you get into such a groove for turn 1, you have to hit at a certain point, turn 2, you have to hit at a certain point, and it's very taxing mentally that you don't realize it at the time, but as soon as that race finishes, you sit back and you relax and you realize that you're completely exhausted.
Absolutely, and not to take away from that point, but Sean Purdy continues to pour it on. A couple laps ago, fastest lap of the race for Purdy. He is now under 2 seconds from his teammate Ilka Happel as he is making a charge. Looks like Marsh into the pits, and also I think that's Florian Goddard in the pits, and possibly Alfala as well. Florian in and out.
Yeah, these guys are definitely all Crozier's in the pits as well. Aldi already pitted.
Happel into the pits for the final time. Lap 36 of 50. We're on board with Happel going down through the pit lane as he is passing some other cars. The lead, car number 2 out in front, Sean Purdy. Happel exiting the pits now.
What Sean was probably hoping for there was a nice clean lap with Happel falling into the pits, and when Purdy came across the start-finish line, there was Richard Crozier who had just completed a pit stop, kind of holding him up a little bit. Not on purpose, of course, but Purdy needed that clean lap to hopefully gain as much time as possible. Just didn't get it. Yeah,
so Sean definitely hoping for some clean laps, hoping that potentially that Ilka gets caught up behind some lapped cars. Again, these guys looking to become the first driver of the Drivers' World Championship to win a race besides Gregor Huttu and Richard Towler. So that's some elite company there. These guys definitely want to try to do their best to take that win.
Sean Purdy didn't pit that time.
He didn't. That means that he cannot get fuel or tires on this lap.
But it should be noted that his last lap was definitely far slower than he has been by half a second. He got stuck behind some cars.
Right now, everything being jumbled up with the running order. Looks like Purdy, Davies, Almeida just into the pits, Vergers, Honzik, Hapola, Heitkotter, Calistani, Sirwa, and Goddard. But again, everything being jumbled up a little bit by the pit stop, so it's going to take a few laps before everything sorts back out. I also just wanted to take a moment to note that Richard Thaler has just admitted that he is always wrong.
I saw that as well, Sean, in the chat.
My opinion. Oh, and Purdy into the pits now. My opinion on this race, Ryan, is at the end of it, it's going to be close, but there will be a winner. I would like you to comment on that.
I would have to agree with you, Sean. I definitely think we're going to have a winner here today at Phillip Island.
You know my name's not Sean, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now Purdy getting ready to come out of his pit stop. Yep,
and
definitely overtook him.
Goes through.
Now the gap when Hapala pulled into the pits was about 1.9 seconds. We'll see if he actually closed it or lost some time.
So right now, Ilka.
Oh, there goes Purdy off the course. He kept it off the tires though.
Ooh, it's gonna. If Sean can hang on to second.
Yeah, Daniel Almeida coming up quickly on Purdy.
Pit stop's happening. Everything's still jumbled up. We're going to have to wait another few laps here before we can really tell you who is where. But Sean Purdy probably throwing away any chance that he had to win this race. Ilka Hapola probably saw that and is now going to put it into cruise control. You would imagine these guys had over a 10-second gap between third place before the last pit stops. Ilka's got to keep it clean, keep it out of trouble, and he could be looking at his first ever Drivers' World Championship win. And the baby's name very well could be Philippe Island Hapola after this race. Currently out in front, Jaroslav Honzik. But I believe
he last
he's
pitted on lap 21.
Yeah.
So he'll be coming up on the pit stop very soon.
Yeah, probably lap 41 or 42. Right now working lap 40. Hapola not that far behind him as well. Just a few laps ago, Hapola turning in the fastest lap of the race, 1:14.4. So I imagine you're going to see that drop off quite a bit. He's bound to have seen Purdy go off track. He knows he's got a good gap between him and himself and Purdy. Honzik now into the pits, Hapola back out in front.
It looks like the other cars that haven't pitted yet is Brian Heitkotter and Matteo Calistani. Those two are up in third and fourth. Will inherit second and third, actually.
Yeah, Brian goes by again. No pitting there for him on that lap.
Brian's been one of those guys all season that they've had great, solid runs. No real big accidents or misfortune.
He was going by with that teammate Ian Lake. Another couple of laps here. We'll give you a rundown on the order. Right now, Hapola out in front. Heitkotter in the second spot. Calistani in third. Sean Purdy in the 4th spot, Almeida in 5th. That is your top 5 currently, but pit stop still to come. We'll definitely shake that up a bit. Happila working lap traffic.
Aurelio Leonetti pulled over nicely for him. Lets him go.
Nine laps left to go. Looking for your first ever winner of the Drivers' World Championship that is not named Gregor Huttu or Richard Towler. I'm going to have, Ryan, if I had to pick a winner of this race right now, I would definitely have to think that my pick's going to be Ryan Murray.
Why, thank you. I appreciate it, but it looks like my G27 malfunctioned and I'm in here instead of racing. I know I was one of your picks earlier this season. I believe it is at Watkins Glen or someplace, but just not my luck this week.
I probably shouldn't have bet all that money then.
No, I'm sorry, Frothy. Highcutter stays out once again.
If any of you guys want to follow PSR TV on Twitter, you can. I believe the address is Twitter, psrtv.com/Twitter. Is that correct? I'm getting fed misinformation.
That's because we're in Australia. Everything's backwards.
Just Google Twitter and psrtv.com. I'm sure you'll see it.
Looking over the field, everything's pretty much spread out. We still have Highcutter to pit again. Calistani's pitted, fall all the way back to 12th.
Oh, Matteo Calistani is off. He was in 3rd place earlier, I believe.
Oh, there's a wreck. Almeida got hit. Oh, we need to get a replay. Big wreck.
Looking for a big time replay.
Battle for 4th and 5th. Contact. Heavy contact.
And here is the big time replay coming up on screen now.
Yeah. Dion Vergers ran into the spinning Daniel Almeida.
Calistani off track a bit there. That's not... Ooh, that wall is going to hurt his lap time. Oh, and he kind of bounces back. And he's back out on track.
Coincidentally, the wall was probably trying to pass Matteo, and he blocked him.
That's a good point.
The great Blockastani pulls through again. And I just want to let the listeners know out there that Matteo is a very hard racer, and everybody loves racing against him. It's just everybody has nicknames.
Everybody loves hard racers.
Yes. Very true. Very fierce competitor. Now, I just wanted to point out he has one of the best liveries on the entire broadcast. It's just pure white, but I think it's gorgeous livery.
All right, currently on board Ilkka Happila as he comes by, lap 45 of 56 laps left to go. That sounds weird, but that is the way the counter works. He has a 10-second lead over teammate Sean Purdy, who had that off earlier. Brad Davies in the 3rd spot now. I'm not sure if Brad is pitted yet or not. Serwa in 4th. He probably has not pitted yet either. Highcutter showing in the 5th spot. Serwa into the pits. So Marsh up into the 7th spot. Alfala is in 8th. Baldy up into the 9th spot. Again, if you guys are watching this for the first time, go head over to iRacing.com. Right now they have a $5 a month trial. You get, I believe it's 3 cars, 7 tracks. It's a great deal to give yourself a shot at trying this. These are the best drivers in the world on the road course you are watching currently. So head over to iRacing.com and get yourself a subscription. That's a great introductory price, and it's going to be hard to beat. So make sure you can
Frosty,
get out there on track, and
to,
maybe you can one day be out there racing with these guys.
I wanted to add that even if iRacing's not for you, perhaps it's for your friend. You know, you can go out and buy a gift certificate to help them get their $5 deal.
That's a great point. In fact, I just took my grandmother up with a subscription last week. I expect to see her in the DWC in a few years. Back on board, Ilkka Happila, race leader. Only a few laps left to go. As he is trying to pass. I'm not sure if that was Matteo or not.
Yep, cleanly got by Matteo.
It's always a plus, baby on
Matteo
board.
fell down all the way down to 15th, 16th.
I believe that baby is definitely going to be named Phillip Highland Happila after this race. Sean Purdy taking chunks out of Ilkka Happila's lead. He was 10 seconds back, now 8.7, so Sean is pushing hard. It's probably too little too late. Brad Davies showing in the 3rd spot. Would be a great run for Brad if he can hang on to that spot. Jaroslav Hanzik in the 4th spot. Heitkotter in 5th. Another great run for Heitkotter if he can do that. I believe that might be your teammate's best finish of the season. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would. I think his best position of the season would be 7th earlier this season. I'll have to look it up, but looking for a top 5 would be a great boost for the team. And to Brian
Marsh
himself.
all the way back up into the 7th spot. Alfala in 8th. Andrea Baldi in 9th. Ellen Brand in the 10th spot. And looking for Dion Vergers. Where is he at?
Dion has fallen all the way down to 25th spot, 3 laps down.
Dion looks to be out of the race. Not
Yeah,
sure
he's
what
definitely
happened
not
to
on
Dion. Bad luck for him. Currently sitting 4th overall in the championship. Sorry we missed what happened to Dion.
And then 4 laps down as well in 24th spot is Dion actually collided with Daniel Almeida after Almeida and Davies got together. Yeah, they both pulled off and are completely out of the race.
Not just partially out of the race.
Completely.
Hanzik right now chasing down Brad Davies in the 4th spot, looking for a podium finish. This is, I believe, his 2nd race of the Drivers' World Championship. Be a great finish for Jaroslav. Trying to chase down Davies, also known as Brad Davis. Meanwhile, Happila, 2 laps left to go to secure his first win in the Drivers' World Championship and get one step closer to that 3rd overall, potentially even 2nd overall in the championship, and bring home some serious cash. So 2 laps left to go for your leader, Ilkka Happila, as we are watching the battle between Jaroslav and Brad Davies. And Hanzik looking to the inside.
These two better be careful, though, because every time they duel, Heitkotter is less than a second behind him, coming up quickly. Be very
side by side down the
final
front
2
straight.
laps.
Jaroslav goes by. Great pass by Jaroslav Hanzik. He is up into the 3rd spot now. Davies back to 4th. See if Davies has anything else to say about that. 2 laps left to go, and it looks like Jaroslav is pulling away. Heitkotter might be closing in on Davies just a bit. Wonder if potentially Davies has some car damage or just trouble issue or tire issues.
Yeah, I'm showing that Davies has some front wing damage. That contact with Dan Almeida.
Hanzik had posted in the forums earlier that he was he had went to a palm reader and said that the race wasn't going to go so well. So it's going to have to go pretty bad here pretty quick. Right now he's looking at a podium finish, and Heitkotter all over the back door of Davies now, looking to move out to fourth.
Yeah, Heitkotter all over the back. Brad Davies coming into the final corner. Oh, look, Davies definitely has damage because Heikotter's just blowing past him on the straightaway.
Yeah, same move we saw last lap, and Heitkotter is through for fourth, so Davies looking for a top 5 now, trying to hang on with a broken race car.
Ilkka Happila coming up for the final few corners to his very first Drivers' World Championship victory.
Now Ilkka on his last lap. Sean Purdy now 7.5 seconds back, so he's definitely made up a lot of time, but it's not going to be enough. A full 30 seconds back is Jaroslav Hanzik in the third spot. So right now these guys just trying to cruise to victory. I'm sure Ilkka is just taking it easy.
Out of the final corner now, coming to the checkered flag.
Ilkka Happila with the win. First ever driver besides Gregor Huttu and Richard Towler to take the win in the Drivers' World Championship. Congrats to Ilkka. Great run, great pole, completely clean race, and he's going to take the win. Sean Purdy going to come across in second. Hanzik in the third spot coming out of one of the final corners.
Yeah, and then
here comes Jaroslav Hanzik, going to finish it up in the third spot, followed closely by Brian Heitkotter. Brad Davies going to hang on to fifth. Florian Goddard, great run for him, and the points championship in the sixth spot. I'm sure he's very happy with that. Darren Marsh all the way back up to seventh, followed closely by Ray Alfala. Looks like Andrea Baldi going to bring it home in the ninth spot. And Klaus Illenbrand, after some trouble earlier, great run for him in the 10th spot.
And then Richard Crozier coming up P11. That's definitely going to help him in the chase for the top 30.
Followed by David Serwall very closely. David in the top 10. Mauro Baselier in the 13th spot. Followed by Milos Milokovic in 14th. And Martin McYon in the 15th spot.
First car lap down. And then 16th, Matt Sentel. 17th, Jan Zilakis. And then 18th, Dave Hoffman. 19th, Matteo Calistani. And then 20th, Aurelio Leonetti.
What a race, Ryan. Is it what you expected? Did we expect to see Ilkka? He's been coming on strong as of late, taking the win. Sean Purdy in third. Jaroslav Hanzik might be the surprise of the race in the third spot. What do you think?
I think that was a great story. We have a pro driver coming up trying to make his name known, show maybe a little preview of what's going to happen next year when the pro drivers, the current crop, gets promoted to the Drivers' World Championship. Showed up and he ran a great race. There was a little bit of a bumping and banging between third place, fourth place, and fifth place all throughout the race, and it really let Ilkka pull away from Sean. And then once Sean had that off late in the race, it was Ilkka, proud father of little Phillip Island Happila, pulling away to his first victory.
Yeah, great job for Ilkka, taking advantage of some guys not being able to make the race. First ever Drivers' World Championship win. Congrats to him. Sean Purdy finishing up in second. Jaroslav Hanzik in third. Heitkotter, great run for him in the fourth spot. Davies, another great run for him as well in fifth. Goddard in the sixth spot. Marsh seventh. Alfala in eighth. A good run for Ray. And Andrea Baldi in ninth. Klaus Ellenbrand in the 10th spot.
I was going to say, Andrea is another one of the drivers that just throughout the season is much like Daniel. You've had a lot of contact, and it's really kind of let the standings show an unfairly representation of how they are as a driver. And today, Andrea had a real great drive. Came in ninth, top 10 finish. Can't really argue with that at all.
Yeah, I think what's lost in a lot of this is a lot of these guys that are mid-packers or even back of the packers, you don't realize you drop these guys and just the average normal server and they are just going to just kill everybody else in there. These guys are all amazing talents, and it's good to see guys like Andrea Baldi, Florian Goddard, some of those guys that you don't normally see up at the front having great runs out there today.
I agree with you there, Frosty. It makes for a great race because it's just sometimes you just want to see somebody else on screen.
Well, it is a shame that Gregor couldn't make it, but he is vacationing somewhere, a place unknown. He has already wrapped up the championship and that cool $10,000. It remains to be seen. One race left to go if Towler can make it or not. Last I heard, he will not be able to make it. If he can, he will probably wrap up that second place position and that $3,000 unless he has some bad trouble. Hapola right now sitting in a good spot to wrap up third, and Sean Purdy not far behind in fourth. So only one race left to go.
I agree. And then don't forget that race for the 30th spot, the coveted top 30 position between Florian, Holgate, and Crozier. And I believe Dave Hoffman, like you mentioned earlier, he wasn't racing today. It'll be tight, especially with only 28 pit stalls at Mid-Ohio. Oh, he was there. I'm sorry. Oh, my bad.
Right.
Dave Hoffman did run today, finished 18th.
Yeah, I did. He snuck it in there on us. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for race 17 of the Drivers' World Championship. Ilka Hapola, great win out there today, followed by Sean Purdy and Jaroslav Honzik. We will see you guys in 2 weeks for the final race. Thanks again to Ryan Murray for filling in. Did a great job in the booth. Chuck Johnson always does a great job as well. All the other guys behind the scenes. PJ Loosely, we appreciate all you guys. Hope you guys see you guys again in 2 weeks here on PSR TV.